And with that, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Hold up, I need to adjust some things. Welcome to SCS number 434. I hope you're having a wonderful day, as for, I do believe, the first time in like forever, we're actually starting the timer perfectly at time on 8. And let me give you the lobby right here. There we go. In the lobby right now, over on the red, on the left side in red, we are joined by the VoD at Impera with the pilots Friendly Corp and Daniel. Who is that? The Dementia fella? Can someone tell me? And over on the right in blue, we are joined by Comp Team 2 with the pilots Abject Axolotl and Where Am I? And let me give you that audio channel as well, so that you actually can hear a little bit more. And I think I'm gonna have... Let me just... this. And give you some lovely background music to listen to while I'm rambling on about the things may or may not happening in the lobby. As we have 1 minute until lock, and blue 2 changed guns. Okay, Snippers decided to break again. Lovely. Okay, 30 seconds left till lock. Oh, there we go. And blue 2 changes 10 seconds towards the lock. Just shoveling guns around, I assume. Oh. Shoveling more guns around. Shoveling more guns around. And we're locked. A lot of excitement. And, as should be obvious, it is red team's turn to ask for the minute. Even though that's a bit too late for that right now. So, ready up everyone. It's time to get that very first match going. Find your ready buttons, you're gonna need them. Well, I guess this has to be a button. Ref assisted readying. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me... right here. It is now time to get into a very first match over on the Soldan Kinforth. And ship number 1 is the Wheels Do Be Turning Crusader, piloted by Friendly Corp, with Watcher Carrier on the front, Mortar Banshee in the mid-deck, and Gat Artemis on the top. Ship number 2 is the Jupiter. It's a Corsair piloted by Daniel. Front Lumberjack, right side Flare Watcher, left side Mine Launcher Detonator, and an aft Flamethrower. Ship number 3 is the Queen Anne's Mercy. It is a galleon piloted by Abject Axolotl, flying the pirate theme. With a port side, Hades Heavy Flak Mark II Minotaur, aft Poon, and starboard side Watcher Caro. And lastly, we have ship number 4, the League of Nations, a Magnate, piloted by Where Am I, where on the starboard side we find a Carinator Gatling and a Watcher. On the port side we find an Artemis, a Mine Launcher, and a Lumberjack. Okay, let's hope that no one has some noodles stashed away somewhere. Because I'm not feeling like having a noodle incident. But to be fair, most of the ships, maybe except the Crusader, are too big to fit into that spot. Jupiter, first shots fired as Jupiter is engaged in the League of Nations. And also getting engaged by the Queen Anne's Mercy. Flux coming out from them. Wheels to be turning, not yet spotted, but I'm very certain that is about to change. There we go. And we have our first engagement going, with the Jupiter immediately going for the flank here. League of Nations somewhat awaiting them. And as they back off, Queen Anne's Mercy firing away at the Jupiter. Oh, okay. Scratch everything I was saying. The League of Nations not quite anticipating the Corsair, or at least awaiting the Corsair as they turn the corner, instead deciding to go further forwards and getting more shots onto the wheels to be turning. Jupiter gets broken, but the flak. Okay, flak does connect, but not in time. It's only minuscule. Power damage is suffered. Another break will be obtained though, and that flak looked like it's connected. Oh, definitely. And suddenly more than half the Corsair is gone. And that is the damage that Heavy Flak Mark II is known and loved for. The ability to two-shot almost every single ship in the game. At least triple shot almost every ship in the game. And one shot quite a lot more. We're still returning, suddenly realizing that their ally has gone away. Trying to go into some cover here beneath this pipe. But the long-range fire from the Queen Anne's Mercy will stop them from having any cover from this pipe right here. League of Nations pushing them. Please don't. And the League of Nations now going close quarters against the wheels to be turning. Watcher goes out, break is obtained. Half the Crusader is already missing. And with that, final shot coming out of the Queen Anne's Mercy. The Crusader has gotten flucked. 2-0 lead for the blue team, also known as Comp Team 2, with roughly 16 minutes on the clock. Also, we will be off to another fresh start, as the blue team only suffered some scratched paint throughout this engagement. But a bit of scratched paint won't stop them in their pursuit of victory. Or their attempt at victory. What will it be? We will see. Okay, League of Nations and Jupiter. Oh, sorry, the teams have found each other. Shots are out. League of Nations immediately gets popped. Jupiter almost, gets double broken. But they are in cover from the blue ships, so no follow-up there. We're still returning, on the other hand, being very exposed. And very prone to breaking and dying. And right as I say that, the flak connects and takes the Crusader out with only a single shot. And the Jupiter is also eating a flak to the face there. And suddenly there's only a quarter of that Corsair left. League of Nations pushing forwards. Shots going, firing the Lumberjack out into the Jupiter. Not quite hitting the mark, but suddenly the Jupiter is hittable from the Queen Anne's Mercy once more. But they won't get another angle. But the League of Nations is very committed. They have the break. And the Jupiter goes down. 4-0 lead for the blue team. With 14:10 on the clock, and we'll still be turning on the field. And already getting engaged by the Queen Anne's Mercy. And Queen Anne knows no mercy. As the Crusader is already getting hammered by long-range Hades, Minotaur, and Flakfire. Interestingly enough, Minotaur doesn't have a tracer, unlike Flak, for example. So you can't actually see it that well when they hit. You can only see it like on the enemy, but they don't have a tracer. Oh, wheels to be turning. Lost them one of their heavy guns. Jupiter's back on the field, not yet spotted, but very visible, so they will get spotted immediately. League of Nations positioning to stop the wheels to be turning from thinking anything bold. And Jupiter pushing forwards into the Queensland's Mercy, getting broken on the way in. Unification's Mercy still holding on to that flak, not quite connecting. This could also be within arming distance. League of Nations gets broken by the wheels to be turning. Jupiter gets broken as well. Flak goes in. That was a Lochnagar shot. Most definitely. And the Jupiter is suddenly reduced to just that magic pixel of perma. And even a singular stray Gatling bullet is enough to finish them off. In this case, it was Hades. Well, same difference. With that, it will be Com Team 2 obtain the victory here in the very first match. With a final score of 5-0 against the Villa Empera. And as always, we will be right back once I have the next match together. Until then, enjoy some more, sadly not new music. And with that, it is now time to get back into it as match number 3 on the challenge has been prepared. And right now, on the left side and now in the red, we have... Actually, under which name did they sign up? Because there are 3 different ones. Definitely not bees, with the pilots Portable Grump and Best Fun. And over on the right in blue, we once again have the very creatively named Comp Team 2. Wait, that's my outro music. There we go, that's better. Like this. Like this. Good. Bit of an active lobby game in the beginning, but nothing really beyond that. And right as I say that, someone makes a change. Even with the best fun, I'm very disappointed that you don't have a bee-themed ship name after the Queen Bee. But hey, you can't have everything, you know. 1 minute left until lock. Seems like blue team is going for double magnate, while the red team is bringing... Bollywood Grump is bringing her trusty Crusader, while Best Fun is being a little bit experimental with a Junker. Only drift sail on blue 1, which I do find rather interesting. Okay, 20 seconds left until ship lock. And ships are locked, and no minutes will be granted. As the blue team has readied up already, very nice. And the red team is currently lagging behind a little bit, still sorting a few crow loadouts out. I mean, they still have 10 seconds left until I will ask them, until they will be asked to ready up, and then another 15 until I kick them into the match. Well, it seems that someone found a ready button. Very nice. And there we go, everybody readied up. Match number 2, well, 3. Well on the way. And we're going on to Water Hazard. Beware of hazardous waters. And the Bridges of Doom. Even though I haven't really seen a match around the Bridges of Doom lately. Ship number 1 is the quite possibly Bees. It's a Crusader piloted by Portable Grump, with front double Watcher, mid deck double Banshee, and top deck double Gatling. Ship number 2 is the Boaty-Mech Boatface, that is a Junker, piloted by Best Fun, where on the port side we find double Artemis, in the front we have a Gatling, On the starboard side, we have Gat Mortar. Ship number 3. First ship of the enemy team is the Jolly Pardon, a magnet powered by Abject Axolotl, while on the starboard side we find Double Mark and Heavy Flak Mark II, and on the port side we find Gat Mortar Watcher. And ship number 4 is the League of Nations, another magnet piloted by Where Am I, while on the starboard side we find a Caronate Gatling Watcher, and on the port side we have an Artemis, a Mine Launcher, and a Lumberjack. I've seen this one before. I've also seen ship number 3 before. Someone's copying. But it's fine. At least, I think it's fine. Anyway. First engagement is going as the ultimate bulk phase is currently in a sniping duel with the League of Nations, actually directly in front of the Bridges of Doom. Potentially trying to use the bridge. Nah, I don't think so. But possibly bees ready for the ambush, hiding down below, waiting for the enemy, waiting for their prey. But I don't think the body make both phase is having that good of a time, as they had lost the balloon and they had lost some one of their engines. I don't think the blue team is doing the red team the favor of carelessly going forwards to above the quite possibly bees, even though the League of Nations is headed in that general direction. And quite possibly bees takes this cue to spring into action, Hydra up, and completely missed the blue team as they went around the spire. As they went around the pillar here. You had the potential. Oh, don't go through. Don't go through there. Grump, don't do it. Oh, that. Okay, she actually managed to get out. These two bridges here, these are the Bridges of Doom. And it's very easy to get in, but never get out again. And these have eaten Crusaders before. And as you could see here, the Quabblezy Beast was stopped dead in its track by something. Okay. Once again, sniping duel mostly, while the McBow face loses their balloon, and some guns, and an engine. Ah, man. And besides that, not a whole lot is happening here. Okay, Ultimate Block Phase, making the move forward, while Kabossi Bees is firing their first shots in anger. Partially intercepted by the bridges here. As, once again, teams are very fond of fighting around these. But it's a lot of shooting at boxes going on here, as there's an awful lot of clouds. I'm trying to find a decent position to look. Kabossi Bees, once again, going forwards, going up. Firing out their watchers, going for pressing the advance, getting hammered a bit, firing off another watch into the League of Nations, getting David's going, but now broken, and now dead. And with that, blue team will claim the first kill of this match, and Ultimate Bogeface goes in and dies. What you could once again see in this engagement, especially with the advance of the quite possibly bees, the route they rush in, they got flucked. That's it, really. They got flucked, and the fluck can, well, depending on what ammo you load. Well, with anything except Lochnagar, it will 2-shot Crusaders. With Lochnagar, it will 1-shot Crusaders. Okay, another engagement about to happen here. As the red team has respawned and is now also discovered. The blue team, Lumberjacks and Flux going out into the VoD to make both phase. Getting murked, but not breaking yet, Quasi-Bees. But also gets strafed as they fly by. Yes, I know, usually that works the other way. And quite possibly is positioning themselves nicely for the League of Nations, which will gladly rain Lumberjacks down upon them. Ultimate Bulk face and Jolly Pardon, in a bit of a sniping match. Flux are fired and Mercs as well. But not very great effect. League of Nations chiming in with their Lumberjack. Almost getting disabled, almost popping the bottom poke face there. Jolly Pardon losing a few guns, Corpuscle Beast maneuvering around again. Trying to set up for that amazing flank, I presume. League of Nations, a bit fed up, decides to go forwards. And the Jolly Pardon will follow suit, bottom bow face receiving a Watcher. But not that great effect. Velocity Beast out charging into the Jolly Pardon. Trying the Watcher, but not to once again not to that great of effect. They get double broken though, and they approach, get Watchered, they lose their lives. A lot of components, and then they're alive. Another kill obtained by the blue team. As Body Bowface comes in again. Guns blazing, mortars going. But they lose almost every single one of their components to League of Nations Watcher. League of Nations backed off into a corner here by the windmill, but it won't it won't be fatal for them. As the Jolly Pardon comes in and for the assisting them and obtaining the kill. 4-0 lead for the blue team with roughly 12 minutes on the clock. Okay, blue team has circled around further north, now heading for the southeast. Red team respawning very close by, actually. One arguably hot, considering how the blue team has mostly specced into long range. Bees immediately preparing for the flank, and hiding well out of the Jolly Pardon's dangerous guns. Arcs. Sorry, forgot the word. But the blue team decides to just shove it in reverse and stick together. And with the combined firepower of both blue ships on whichever pirate is present, I don't think the red team can really find an angle to engage them. And that appears to be a trend throughout this entire match, that blue team is exercising some really good positioning and also gunnery. The red team never really found their angle for the Quite Beast to exploit. Because the Quite Beast, very capable ship, but it's a brawler. And if you can't take your brawler and shove it into the enemy, you lose. And with that final sniping shots on the Ultimate Boatface, it will be Comp Team 2 obtaining another victory. With a final score of 5-0. And they will move on to face Comp Team 3. And as always, we will be right back as soon as they have that together. Until then, enjoy the music. And let us go and get back into the next match. Over. I'd forgotten that. Over on Oblivion South. And on the left in red, we are joined once again by Com Team 2, with the pilots Abject Axolotl and Where Am I, and over on the right, currently still missing 2 players, we have Com Team 3, with the pilots Artemis and Hellfire. We have a bit more than 30 seconds left until ship lock. Seems that Fish Wars has been avoided. There we go, 30 seconds. As the red team is bringing a Crusader and a Magnet, while the blue team is bringing a Goldfish and a Crusader. Well, ships are locked. And I'm still tempted to ban some. Well, we are locked. Well, ready up, everyone. And we are starting. We're loading onto Oblivion South, which is the Long Snake map, which has some rather interesting features to it. Ship number 1 is Electron Love. It is a Crusader, piloted by Abject Axolotl, with front Watcher Heavy Flak Mark II. Sorry, right to left and right. Gatling Banshee on the mid deck, and Artemis Gatling on the top deck. Ship number 2 is the League of Nations. Once again, a Magnet, piloted by Where Am I? We're on the starboard side, we find a Carronade, a Harpoon, and a Watcher. On the port side, we find an Artemis, a Mine Launcher, and a Lumberjack. Ship number 3 is the Home Resonance. It's a Goldfish, piloted by Artemis. It's a Watcher fish with right side carrier, front Watcher, left side Gat Mortar. And ship number 4 is the Fear Crusader, piloted by Hellfire, with front Lumberjack Watcher, mid deck Artemis Banshee, and top deck Banshee Gatling. And it seems like the Fear just jumped a wall. And I think the Home Resonance is gonna do the same. Not the Home Resonance appears to be going around. But that means that the Fear is about to meet the entirety of the red team, with his ally being about a kilometer away. And now, with the shots coming in, the red team should realize that they have a Crusader underneath them, while the Home Resonance is finally starting to arrive. Watcher goes out into the Fear, not very effective. Watcher also goes out into the rear of the League of Nations, which is a lot more effective, but the Home Resonance just bumps some terrain. Okay, but it's not gonna prove that bad. Electrolove losing their balloon. League of Nations currently missing 5 guns, while the Home Resonance has recovered and is hydering up Electrolove. having a handful of stuff, having an awful lot of stuff to deal with the fear, which is now going for their ally. Up, seems like the final remaining gun on the League of Nations was a Watcher, and that now goes straight into the fear, which loses 2 of their guns and is being pushed back by the now recovered League of Nations. Poon goes out. Don't think it connected. Electrotov also recovered. Poon goes out again. This time successful, catching the home resonance. And I'm expecting Watcher follow-up. There we go. And the home resonance Watcher gets destroyed. Electrolov now doing the long-range fire support, as the Fia has hit the ground a little too hard. Home resonance gets broken. Flak from the Electrolov comes in, but doesn't quite connect. Home resonance pooned once more. League of Nations losing their balloon and losing an awful lot of their components, while Electrolov is going around the side, and the Fia is now just hard focusing League of Nations. League of Nations is broken, missing half the perma. They managed to get the armor back up, but will it be enough? Broken, and the League of Nations goes down. First kill obtained by the blue team. And that leaves Electrolov very lonely on the field against 2 very angry looking blue ships. Double Gatling goes out. Break is obtained. Home resonance gets into cover. And it seems that blue team really doesn't want to make a move here. Up, scratch that. Home resonance peeks around the corner. Watcher goes out, disabling 3 guns, including the heavy flak. League of Nations spawning right into the battle. But this might turn into a conveyor belt if they're not very careful. Home resonance is very much looking for that squish. Electrolov is double broken. And gets ram killed by the Fear. Fear ending up in the terrain as well, though. Armor goes down briefly, but they managed to get it up almost immediately. And that, now this has turned into a lovely conveyor belt, as the League of Nations is suddenly facing 2 enemies all alone, just as their ally was before. Home resonance currently missing 3 of their guns, while the Fear is also missing 2. But the League of Nations is missing 3. And it seems to be that the League of Nations is missing some more important guns than the others, as they get double focused and go down. 3-0 lead for the blue team. Red team decides to spawn all the way in the back and in as deep as their spawn as they can, while the blue team is still maintaining a position in the middle lane. And it seems that red team is doing some fancy maneuvering right there. Okay, and it seems that red team will be successful with their weird maneuvering, but the blue team will catch them. But not being quite able to follow up, especially as the League of Nations has positioned to await them, and they have mined the passage, now throwing down the wall. There we go, wall has been destroyed. Or will the Fia actually try to go through? They're looking at it. Yep, they're certainly going through. Question is, how many mines will they end up? Answer, oh, Home Resonance takes all of the mines and gets through unscathed, but the fear gets pushed down. And now we have the next engagement going, and it seems to be a bit of a claustrophobic one, as a lot of people are hitting the floor. Electrolove is losing an awful lot of their stuff. Home Resonance gets pooned. League of Nations putting themselves into the line of fire of the fear, and also body blocking the Allies Watcher. Electrolove missing half their perma suddenly, while the League of Nations is missing all of their engines, and the fear is behind them. Electrolove having having their hands full trying to deal with the Home Resonance, while the fear is happily shooting away at the rear of the League of Nations. And the League of Nations goes down, finished off by the fear. Leaving the Electrolove very lonely on the field, while the Home Resonance is having problems catching up to them. Okay, the Electrolove charging forwards, League of Nations respawning right into the engagement with a little bit of leeway. Electrolove doing their best they can to drift around the shots as much as possible and trying to stay alive, and they're doing they're doing a really good job at it. League of Nations gets spotted by the fear. Electrolove is double broken. Home Resonance bumping on the floor, preventing them from turning around to get their guns going. Electrolove bumping terrain as well. Fear and League of Nations are brawling over there. And League of Nations is broken once more. Electrolove and Home Resonance brawling once more. Firing at each other, but not really getting a whole lot done. League of Nations in fear. Here to very low, out of the arcs of the League of Nations guns. While they still have that lumberjack to shoot up with. Okay, both engagements have reunited. The fear getting watched, but nothing really happens beyond that. And once again, it's the red ships being awfully low in altitude and also in perma, as the Home Resonance finally gets broken. But very little follow-up, and it costs the Electrolove another quarter of their perma, putting them down to about 10% of it. Oh, and the Electrolove goes down. And with that, Com Team 3 has obtained the victory with a final score of 5-0. And they will move on to face whoever wins the lower bracket finals. And I will give you that as soon as the previous match is over. And I'll see you then. Enjoy the music. more match with the lovely voice in my head, also known as Zennoch.
I can definitely assure you that you are not dreaming about that voice in your head.
Yeah, since for reasons that I will not mention, one team has taken quite a lot longer to get their shit done. I will hop on to the lower bracket a match earlier, and this is now definitely not bees on the left and red, with the pilots now Yggdrasil and Bestfon versus Chef Zillion's retirement home for the Range Icarus player, with the pilots Zillion and Sputnik.
I would say it's not just one team that messed up, it was two, but, well, we'll leave it at that.
Hello.
As we currently, hopefully, will be rolling into the next match soonish. Because
yeah, soon
has
TM.
already been significantly delayed due to extenuating circumstances.
Yes. Okay, lobby time is over. I'm assuming that you will hit the magic button in just a moment.
In about 10 seconds.
Sounds good to me. Okay.
Holy Omnissiah, forgive me for what I was forced to do because these people are just not hitting the ready button. Forgive me.
And off we go. Onto the other half of Oblivion South, also known as the Relic Deception. Actually, just my previous match was on Oblivion South.
Ouch. Also, not to stop alt-tabbing back to Twist Insurrection. Now something's actually going on.
Indeed. And ship number 1 is the enemy gamers. What is
Oi!
Can you get rid of him?
I already told him to leave!
I will pause.
Oh, fuck.
Oh! Too much riffing.
Well, to be honest, we're pausing for two different reasons.
Okay, I will just get going here. Well,
just
both teams have... actually, no, red team hasn't confirmed their readiness yet. Okay, red team has indeed confirmed their readiness, so I will unpause.
Yes, go for it.
There we go. And ship number 1 is the enemy gamers. It is a junker piloted by Yggdrasil. Well, on the port side we have double Hades, on the front we have a flak, and on the starboard side we have double Gatling. Ship number 2 is the Rambulance. It is a courser piloted by Bestfon. Front Lumberjack, right side Flamer Watcher, left side Mortar Watcher, and an aft Harpoon.
Meanwhile, on the blue team, ship Zedion's retirement home from the ranged Conspicuous player, also known as OK Boomer. It is ship number 3, the Flaming Pillar, piloted by Zedion. It is a Spire once again, with the bottom deck Lumber Mine and top deck Hades Mine. And ship number 4 is the Winds of Change, piloted by Sputnik. It is a Judgment with a front heavy carronade Gatling Mortar combo with a back Flamer heavy carronade.
A lot of carronades on that junker and that Judgment, and also the Judgment has decided that forwards is the way it wants to go.
Well,
Straight into the enemy and the enemy's watchers.
I do understand a valiant charge in the name of the Emperor into the midst of the enemy, but you know, I expect results. The Emperor
yeah, one could say that this was like a Krieg level charge.
Yeah.
A charge more for the sake of charging than actually achieving something.
Indeed.
Oh, but surprising to me at least, it might actually be the Flaming Pillar that bites the dust first. Even though the Winds of Change tried their hardest to accomplish that fate.
Indeed. Just goes to show, caution is not always useful. Sometimes you should just
well,
throw
to be fair, depending on how good the coordination between the two was, Sputnik might have just forced Zedion's hand.
Also, the enemy gamers discovering rocks are solid matter.
Yeah, but they didn't really take... I think their balloon greedily took all the damage, so...
That was
It's
the armor.
perfectly fine.
Armor took also some of it.
Ah. But, anyway, it's the red team obtaining 2 kills. And we have 17:20 on the clock. And to explain what I was referencing, if you turn your camera and attention southwards, you will see a few white dots. And south of
the
this map
walls.
is Oblivion South. And if you pay very
Indeed.
close attention to Oblivion South, you will see that at the very north of Oblivion South, you can actually see the derelict.
Indeed.
It is not possible to jump from one map to the other, because the wind wall will just get too strong, and there's also a mountain range in the way. But they exist in the
maps-
same position.
Both maps are on the same map.
Yes. And since we have the dots of the walls from Oblivion South, you can actually very nicely see that it's one map, just 2 different places on it. Okay, enough rambling about maps. It's time for the second engagement as the Winds of Change changes their course of action.
Meanwhile, the enemy gamers showcasing the attempt at suppressive fire. Too bad something like that doesn't work in Guns of Icarus.
Well,
However fashionable it might
kinda.
be.
While I have to revert my previous statement, the Winds of Change is absolutely not changing their course of action, as they once again valiantly charge into
They
the
are
enemy.
Throwing caution to the winds of change.
Oh, for fuck's sake. God.
Yes.
What
I
has
had to
happened
make
to the
that
level,
rubbish of a joke.
to the quality of the stream? I mean, not quality, but...
Look, at some point, one of us was going to make a bloody joke to ruin the entire quality, so may as well get rid of it early.
I mean, fair. Well, and seems the enemy gamers has actually retreated quite far, deciding to just
Mines.
spam Hades at the enemy until the enemy hopefully dies. And
Meanwhile, the Flaming Pillar is attempting to imitate the same strategy to conspicuously higher success.
but the Rambulance has actually been double broken and hit the ground too hard.
Yes, indeed, and the gamers don't look like they're gonna be GGing anytime soon.
Well, I think the enemy gamers are about to discover the very fatal properties of mortar.
You know,
Yeah, actually,
surprisingly fast.
more like lumberjack.
Well, that's discovering the properties of death. Eventually. That I believe.
Well,
is
for
the
now he
Solid Rock
managed to hit
wall.
a. I just saw the judgment like fly into my camera.
I suppose that was from a particular. Oh, bump. Yeah, the wall is surprisingly solid.
Yeah, I was about to say
Surprised
that like the enemy gamers has managed to hit a dead end. And then the judgment charged into my camera, but certainly not connecting with the enemy gamers, even though the enemy gamers has well
terrain.
hit the ground repeatedly,
Too hard. Again.
and they are dead. 2-on-2
Indeed.
with
With our skill to red.
yes. Oh wait, I could have sworn I didn't hit the auto ref match button. Maybe I did.
Maybe because the game is screwed up because, you know, we double paused and only once resumed.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm gonna announce the... wait a minute. Actually, both of us announced first kill.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. Like, I'm fairly certain I didn't check the tick the box because I assumed you had. I assumed correctly.
This is weird.
Okay. Red team has decided to spawn inside the derelict. Blue team has discovered that, and the flaming pillar is now shooting away. While the enemy gamers is going. Actually, I'm not quite sure where they're going, but they're going somewhere. Flaming pillar losing their balloon. Rambulance also losing their balloon.
Lumberjack duels in a nutshell. Oh, and here comes the Hades suppressive.
Oh, that is an awful lot of Hades. If only it would
I'd
actually
say
hit.
it's visually appeasing.
I mean, double Hades going ham like that looks really cool.
Most assuredly so, but
It would just be
It-
even cooler if it would actually reliably hit. Well, I guess I shouldn't say it like
Flaming
that, because the
Pillar
flaming
isn't
pillar was
doing-
just double broken.
yeah, it looks like the flaming pillar isn't doing too hot.
Wait, Daniel? Wait, Chef Zedion's got Daniel as a sub?
Yes,
Okay.
today is a miss.
I, agree.
Lock mine out. A complete failure. Also, they're gonna reverse into their own mine.
Oh, and the
Oh.
flaming pillar gets broken. Will we see the flak
Ooh.
follow-up from the enemy gamers? Well, yes, one of them connected.
Inaccurate.
Rambulance, double
Oh.
broken.
The Rambulance might just get Rambulanced.
I think they're just gonna get rammed. Or Goomba stomped?
Or mortared. Unless they can
Neither.
actually-
This,
the pixel perma. Oh, the pixel perma. They're still
yeah, and
somehow
the enemy
alive.
gamers is doing a phenomenal job at getting rid of the flaming pillar. But sadly, the ambulance hit the ground and ate that one crucial Gatling bullet.
Indeed, it's always the one. Just like the one rat that stabs you in the back every time you turn around.
Hmm?
Yeah, Valentine
Hmm.
joke. There's always the one rat that stabs you in the back out of nowhere.
Ah. Enemy
The enemy
gamers.
gamers discovered rock. Very solid.
Oh, actually, I
Not
thought that
great.
was water. Just because the ships, like, the thing is called airships, doesn't
Oh,
mean
they're
the
gonna
ships
get
actually
rammed.
go into the water.
Oh, that was a squish and a half.
That was it was a bit scuffed, but it worked.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a
Flaming Pillar obtained another kill.
8 out of 10.
4-2 lead for
I
the
appreciate
blue team.
the charge-in ramp to cut the cake and
Yeah.
close it off. Oh, I just noticed. I have 11.8k viewer odds.
Oh.
Sadly, none of the options are really interesting me.
Well, two of the options in that in there only apply to when I'm actually playing Biotrauma, so
Yeah, I know. The last option, I would shoot everyone possessing of that particular item.
Okay, the Winds of Change getting double focused as the Flaming Pillar is taking its sweet time to get to their ally.
Indeed. But we'll see if the red team... Oh, a supportive hydrogen bump from the ambulance.
Nope. The Remblance turned around, fires a Watcher, disables the Gatling. And the enemy gamers has lost the balloon as the Flaming Pillar has finally made its way to the remote area of the battlefield, of the battle.
Indeed, now the ambulance is being double focused.
Well, how the tables turn, how the turntables. And the Winds of Change has been broken.
Black. I'm actually heavily intrigued by this junk build. Looks quite neat.
I mean, yeah, I could definitely see the idea behind it.
Oh, the flaming pillar just kills itself again.
Oh, the Flaming Pillar might actually kill itself here. Yeah. Well, that was a successful
Congratulations,
suicide.
Flaming Pillar. You just killed yourselves in an SCS match.
And it was live on camera.
Indeed. Winds of Change is now performing a hasty retreat, only to discover
The
lost
Rambulance
an
retreats faster. Reverses faster.
retreats faster. Oh, that's just making me think about. So, one of the Dark Tide soundtracks is called "Why Did the Flaming Pillar Spawn Here?"
Oh, this might turn into the prime example of a conveyor belt. The third one I've seen today.
Oh, what the blast! Anyways, what I was about to say was that there is a particular Dark Tide theme called Imperial Advance, and one of the comments in one of those videos said, "Take note, viewers, for there is no theme called Imperial Retreat."
Okay, no conveyor belt, as the Flaming Pillar holds on to their everything, and the Winds of Change
Smells like a
joins them in
Skybow
battle.
spawn of...
Oh, what the fuck just
the
happened?
pain. So, Mine Cluster detonated, damaging both the Winds of Change and the Rambulance.
And the Flaming
Rambulance-
Pillar as well. The Flaming Pillar lost their armor and that.
In other words, mines. Also,
Yes.
the flamethrowers now eating flax.
They're eating an awful lot of that, and they are also armed, so even worse.
Yes, indeed. Although,
Ambulance currently out of the picture by quite the margin.
yeah, mines.
And also, quite literally, as I cannot show the engagement at them.
Ouch. Oh,
But
the enemy
the-
gamers have suffered from a bleeding case of mortar.
I hate to disappoint Trevor, but the bees are gone. You cannot support them anymore.
I have to
Like,
say, though,
Trevor
they put up
Trevor
quite a...
said go bees right as the match ended.
Ouch.
Well, of
not
course.
gonna lie, they put up a big fight.
Oh yes, definitely. I would say that this was the best match I've
That
seen
was an
today.
extremely tight margin. So, well done, bees.
Yeah. So, with that, sadly the bees have been eliminated as Chef's Entertainment over the Range Icarus player obtains the victory with a final
The
score of
Boomers
5-4.
This time.
And they will now
they
move
must
on to
face
face.
off against Comp Team 2 in the next
And
match.
we will be right back as soon as we have that match assembled. So then, you can enjoy some more lovely music. And we are live again. Well, we are always live, of course, but now we are back in the lobby. And now it is time for the lower bracket finals, I do believe. Yes, indeed. And in the lobby right now, over on the left in red, which is the wrong side, we have Comp Team 2 with the pilots Abject Axolotl and Where Am I? And over on the right in blue, we have Chef Zenion's retirement home for the Ranged Icarus player. Yes, the Ranged Zenion. With the pilots Zenion and Sputnik.
No, I agree. Certainly deranged.
Yes. Chef Zenion's deranged killing spree. New team name confirmed.
No, seriously, pick that up as your next team name. I'm gonna be all the more happier for it.
And, Shrevel, I am perfectly aware that there is a 1-minute delay. I still like to poke fun at people for putting messages out at inopportune moments due to there being a delay.
Or, alternatively, the age-old phrase, get good. In this case, get good at predicting the future.
Nah, I don't want to be rude.
Just kidding, though. Inopportune moments happen to everyone.
Yes.
To be honest, Goy is a bit of an unstable game, to the point where you really can't guess what's gonna happen in the next minute. Like, for example, 3 ships getting mined. Because reasons.
Yes. And Zedion, of course, as soon as I was starting to talk, he changes.
Yeah, that is one of the worst. Also, I'd like to note that there are 3 junkers.
Well, that's definitely a change from bringing Double Galleon on Paraton, which I very much appreciate.
I agree.
So we might see this match take 5 minutes instead of 23.
We'll see about that, actually. But I'd prefer it was a Quad Crusader. Then it would be an actual battle to the death. A beautiful battle.
Quad Brawl Crusader?
Yes.
Ooh, that would be quite the match. And will probably be over very quickly.
That's also.
We're locked.
It would be like the brightest star burning for half as long.
And we're off. With 10 seconds still remaining to match start.
Speaking of brightest star that burns half as long, we're already running right into it. Well, not gonna complain.
Okay, let's start. Let's do it quick about this. Ship number 1 is the Young Edelman. It's a junker piled by Abject Axolotl. Port side double Artemis, front Gatling, right side double Banshee. Ship number 2 is the Guns Crusader piled by Where Am I? Front deck, Watcher Caro, mid deck, Banshee Artemis, top deck, Gatling Banshee.
Meanwhile, the blue team, Chef Zedion's deranged home for the Guns of Icarus retired player. It is a junker, the old derp wagoner, ship 3. It is piloted by Zedion. Right side, mortar, carronade, front Gatling. Left side, double Artemis, and ship number 4 is the Charms class. No Harry Potter, please. Piloted by Sputnik. It is a left side Banshee mine, front carronade, and right side Gatling Banshee.
Just imagine a heavy carronade on a junker.
It's, well, it's like you're giving the enemy an idea of how to counter you.
Well, thank God he only brought a light carronade then.
Yeah. The Guns discovered mines.
Indeed. An awful lot of mines, actually.
Yeah. Back when I said that I wanted a Quad Crusader, junkers tend to be quite passive.
Yeah, let's just hope that let's just hope our teams won't decide to sit idle around this very building here for the next 10 minutes. But Watcher goes out into the derp wagon, disabling 2 guns and an engine.
Meanwhile, the Guns is under attack by Guns.
Happy?
No. In fact, I'm depressed. Oh, the Guns blew up.
Well, not quite yet, but they did lose their armor, a little bit of their armor, and the Charms class is coming in for another sweep. But it will prove to be rather lethal. as they use 4 guns, an engine, and their armor, and the balloon, and the guns is almost dead.
Yeah, how things quickly escalate.
Well, it seems that the guns and the Charms class are racing each other to death. To the death.
No. The decision has been made to instead focus on the old derp wagon.
Oh, yep, seems like the old derp
the
wagon.
old
Oh,
derp wagon discovers building solid
oh
material.
yes. But the guns is also discovering banshees.
Okay,
And it will be the
confirmed.
guns that bites the dust as the first, quickly followed by ye old derp wagon.
Guns, they've stopped. They've also stopped the old derp wagon. Now it's
And-
just a junker standoff.
First kill goes to the blue team.
Indeed. By
Chef
a close
Zillion's
margin.
arranged rampage. Reminds me of 12 pool.
6 pool.
6 pool, yeah, 6 pool, sorry. Or Forge
Yeah.
first.
Indeed. Make convoluted names. We're not gonna stick with them.
Okay, Charms class. Discovering the fact that being in a double focus is not very healthy. If that was
Meanwhile,
only briefly, as the guns is immediately redirecting their attention to the new ye old derp wagon.
is it a ye old derp wagon if it's new? I think it should be thus rebranded.
Also,
the
Guns
new
has realized that these train tracks here are very fancy and have an awful lot of spikes.
Yeah, you'd almost think they were upwards pointing bayonets.
I was more thinking church-like, but sure. And also the guns and header mine.
Indeed. Both
That's
ships-
actually, both teams are operating awfully close to an awful lot of terrain.
both teams are also operating on the opposite sides of that train track.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to once again run into that train track.
Indeed, although currently it looks like the old derp wagon is stuck.
Yeah, they are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
And guns.
Oh, but with the Charms clash. God.
It's
No, it will not be the Charms class.
Slash. Okay, brilliant.
The Clown's Charms?
No, we're calling it the Charm Schlass.
Okay, something will
Original
die
name
here.
change. Hopefully, because this has gone on for quite a bit.
Yeah,
Investigation making us go insane.
I mean, first time?
No, not at all.
Oh, ye old derp wagon. Explosions!
Indeed, the old derp wagon retired.
From
to the
life.
Chef Sidon's demented home for the deranged retired Guns of Icarus.
Player.
I was about to say ship.
Oh.
After
Ah,
all, it's a
that's
ship.
called the ship. That's called
please,
the
ram-
graveyard.
Okay, the Schamschlass survives both the ram and the guns.
They have that lethal Gatling on their ass, and one bullet can prove to be fatal. Now, question: does the
Hydrogen-
Crusader fit?
Does it blend is the first question, but that's also a good one.
Well, the guns might get pushed here by their ally. And oh no, it was actually that one lethal Gatling bullet that seals the deal for the Charms class.
Indeed.
3-1 lead for the red team. With the young Edelman actually only suffering a little bit of scratched paint, while the Guns has lost a few windows. Actually, quite a few
And a
windows.
few books as well.
Hmm?
And a few books as well.
Wait, the books also get destroyed?
Nah, just books. I'm just referring to the fact that the Baronies decided it was a good idea to have a flying library.
Oh yeah, in case you're wondering, the Crusader is a very comfortable ship to crew on, as in your leisure time, books are provided.
Behind a stairwell. Too bad weapons fire tends to set ships ablaze. I don't know if somebody invested in fireproof books.
Don't think so.
Development.
Okay, chance class. Facing an awful lot of guns, courtesy of Well, the lobby game appears to be rather stagnant. Someone found the ready button again, just to immediately unpress it. Unpress it.
I'm gonna put a comment out because I'm getting tired of this.
Okay, 30 seconds remaining. No team eligible for a minute. Until, at least at this moment. And to be fair, they could have readied up 2 minutes ago and nothing would have... Oh, for fuck's sake.
And there we go.
And there is a change, of course, in the final 20 seconds.
Indeed.
And they're ready up.
We're starting?
I swear, if red team yells at me for not giving them a chance to ask for a minute...
Well, to be honest, it's their own bloody fault for readying up.
Yes. Okay, then, we are loading onto Cambush. One of the, I would say, most well-liked maps of the community.
I'm gonna actually clarify. The least disliked map.
That's also a very good way to put it. Chip number 1 is the Home Resonance. It is in Goldfish piloted by Ultimates. It's a Watcher Fish with right side Carronade, Front Watcher, and left side Gat Mortar. Chip number 2 is the Fear Crusader piloted by Hellfire. On the front we have Lumberjack Watcher, in the mid deck we have Artemis Banshee, on the top deck we have Banshee Gatling.
Meanwhile, on Cobb Team 2, we have Bad Times, piloted by Where Am I? It is a Stormbreaker with a right side Watcher, left side Gatling Double Banshee, aka your boring old Stormbreaker. And ship number 4 is the Howling Mary, piloted by Abject Axolotl. We have an Artling with a top deck Artemis Gatling and a side Flamer Flag, aka your boring old Artling. And yes, I had to flex my limited capabilities in German.
Das kompetitive Team 2.
Yeah, but works. Anyways, red team is electing to stay inside the canyon ambush. Not deciding to ambush.
I guess the Home Resonance is ambushing out of the canyons into blue team spawn.
Well, they certainly canyon. There are canyons out of canyons, and
but it seems that they were caught red-handed and lost their armor.
Bad Times running in, trying to watch the Fear to no effect.
Fear bumping into some terrain on their retreat, but once again, nothing really happens. Home Resonance, ready for the second round, fires a Watcher into the general direction of the Bad Times, and actually disables the entirety of the left side guns.
Yeah, effective. The Howling
Just
Mary,
for them to immediately be rebuilt.
Only to discover that the battlefield's changed.
Home Resonance now eating a Watcher in return, disabling their Watcher.
Oh no, the Watcher got watched.
Oh no. Howling Mary?
Now
about to be watched?
Mary.
At least I would... Nope. It gets rebuilt and immediately
disabled. Good Artemis
disabled.
will prevent your Watcher. A great Artemis.
And...
will disintegrate the
Home
Resonance.
Oh?
Well, someone screwed up his positioning. And
Definitely.
Pyramidion.
Home Resonance missing 3 of their guns. More than a good chunk of the perma.
There is no escape.
They're broken.
There is no escape.
Where's the flux? Well, I guess that wasn't Artemis, but that counts. First kill obtained by the blue team, also known as Com Team 2. Creativity, an awful lot uninspired.
Oh, the hydrogen bump.
Ooh.
Hydrogen bump.
But it just put the Bad Times Watcher into arc and didn't really accomplish much else besides that.
By a little bit. All they got was 3 guns. Slightly effective, I suppose.
Well, the Bad Times Watcher was very effective.
Brain.
The Fear's maneuver wasn't effective.
Oh, and Bad Times now decides
one.
to repeat the maneuver backwards.
But with the Howling Mary's fire... wait, did that Stormbreaker just disintegrate?
Rock.
Oh. That was a bit of a clusterfuck. Anyway, blue team is 2 kills. Is 1 kill up still.
Congratulations to the Fear for salvaging that little
If
Mess in
only the kills would have been the other way around, because then it would have been a harsh world.
yeah.
Oh god. Howling Mary making the very good decision to just retreat into their spawn. Now
Home residents
rejoined.
making also the good decision to not charge in blindly into the enemy, a la Death Corps of Krieg.
Ah, if only they did.
Well, if only they did, yes.
At times, now probing forwards and encountering the fear. Spots have been exchanged, home resonance not quite in position, but also not that far away.
It is quite clear in this engagement that the Goldfish attempts to engage the bad times. Unfortunately, Blue Team knows this. And then the previous engagement, as we saw, was Pure Median versus Goldfish instead of Pure Median versus Crusader, as it should have been. But the bad times are now broken.
Nah, the
over.
bad times have been broken indeed. And I've also lost an
Banshees.
awful chunk of their everything.
Well,
Fear gets broken. Howling
most
Mary
R&D
bombs the rock.
Stormbreakers work better at lower perma, but this is an R&D Stormbreaker, so it'll die soon enough.
Okay, Watcher goes out. Not very effective. And in the meantime, the Howling Mary has realized that they have Crusader behind them.
Indeed.
A very
they have
angry looking
wisely
Crusader.
moved away from the Crusader. In the meantime,
Home
Watcher
Resonance
from
is
the
about to
back.
hit the ground. Okay, they have hit rock bottom. And the Howling Mary is
A
towering
reminder
above
that the
them.
Home Resonance is running on AI.
2 AI. Yeah.
Note to all the fledgling Goldfish pilots, staring down an enemy Artling be summed up with one word: suicide.
A recipe for disaster?
I've said one word, not four.
Not recommended, let's put it that way. Yeah, I know that was 2 words
That's
still.
2 words. And the Home Resonance spins into death. And the bad times discovers.
gets Watshot into death.
Yeah. 2-3.
And now we have the
Strategy
Fear versus the
favors
Howling
Frenzy.
Mary.
However,
And-
the spawn position favors the blue team.
Oh, definitely.
In other words, figure out what you want to do.
Well, I guess you could say the Fear is currently on a bit of a timed life.
They're on borrowed time, waiting for the bad times.
And the bad times might
Oh,
come
the
soon
ram,
for the
oh,
Howling
the
Mary.
ram,
There we
oh,
go.
the ram, the finisher,
Ram
the
kill
ram,
obtained.
the beautiful kill. Well done. That is definitely a 9 out of 10. Good. Anyways, I am surprised that Fia got that kill, but yeah, well done anyways. The bad times is now left all alone, waiting for its ally.
I was expecting them to get that kill when I saw that the Home Resonance
The moment that
respawned a lot earlier than the bad times, but I was expecting the fish to be the critical thing in there.
yeah, not the rock. Once again,
Yeah.
the MVP of the game, the eternal victor of every single battle thus far.
The
A
terrain.
rock. Or
Undefeated,
just rain.
with thousands of kills, no deaths.
Indeed.
Okay, it's time for the next engagement. Home Resonance versus Howling Mary. Rather premature Watcher, I would say. That accomplishes nothing.
Well, that looked more like a suppressive one. As in, I'm gonna fire my Watcher just because I can.
I'm gonna fire my guns into your general direction.
Indeed. In the meantime, the bad times is taking its time to flank around.
But not being
Too
expected,
much
actually,
time.
so it will be a successful flank.
It might be.
They might have fired their guns a little early.
Nah, the Fear is on fire.
But
Lots
they,
of
they
banshees,
got the watch off into
lots
the
of
Fear,
banshees.
but got none sabers with it. Oh,
Home
Fear is
Resonance
broken.
preoccupied with staring at Artling. Finally
Oh, but they
decides
decided to turn
counterattack.
around, and now the bad times is experiencing exactly that.
Oh, no engines. That Stormbreaker is dead as long as you lift a finger at it.
But the Fia is also not looking very good. They receive a Watcher
the
straight into
mortars.
their
The
perma.
mortars! Oh, the mortars! That thing
Oh,
should
the
have
Fia
been
goes
dead.
down.
Bad time should have been dead if the mortars were accurate.
If only, if only.
If only you had a crew that could aim the mortars. Probably the AI on those things.
Yeah, probably. Oh, Home Resonance
now
is
flee, or
suddenly
else
fighting two people. All alone.
he
And
should
it seems
flee
they want to
towards-
play Ring Around the Rock.
Indeed.
Oh, but
Probably
Hardy
they should-
Mary is having none of that.
They should probably make a hasty retreat before their engines get knocked out. Oh, and that's one of them already gone.
And that's the main engine already gone. That's the armor gone.
And the burning fire
And
burning... Wait.
cleansing fire burning away. Another break.
Indeed. A purifying flame burning through their ship. And it's trying all the evasive maneuvers it can. And at 10% perma. It's still alive, but not for long.
But it won't be enough as the Bad Times Tipcore missiles finish them off.
Indeed. Home Team 2. Succeeding to redeem their past failures.
And that also means that we will be going the full distance.
Indeed.
There will be a second match, as the rules of double elimination dictate that in the finals, if the team coming from the lower bracket wins the first match, you will have a second match to determine who really will win, because surely the people from the lower bracket can't just immediately claim it.
Indeed. Well, to be honest, it is double elimination. It means that basically for a team to lose, it has to be killed twice.
Indeed. Okay, time for the second round of the finals, and while Zennoch will kindly swap the map, I will
Indeed.
ask the teams to swap sides.
The final map is going to be a showdown of wet. Of wet industry.
Okay, and we're gonna carry straight onto the very next man to the very last match. And
It also means that there is no stream break. So stick with us.
yeah,
Nothing to wait for, gents.
yes.
And ladies that are also watching.
Well, I assume that it's both ladies and gentlemen watching here. At least I always greet both. Even though, to be
Indeed.
clear, at the time when I greet, I don't think anyone is actually watching. So.
Although our viewer base has now dropped to 9.
Oh yeah, that is a bit of a shame. Hey,
Yeah, it
9
was-
viewers is still 3 times more than the average Paratrower stream.
Yeah, fair enough. But it is still a shame.
We
What
were
a
up to
wrong way to lose
16
viewers.
earlier, I think.
Yeah, I think it was when we started the lower brackets.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, the lobby duel has begun.
Oh yeah, there's actually changes. Well, yeah, there's a little bit of change happening here and there.
A fair number.
Even
Such
though,
as
where am I just
where
changed
am I?
from Stormbreaker to Crusader to just immediately after change from Crusader to Stormbreaker.
Back to the identical same Crusader. Indecisive, indecisive.
Maybe he needs the guiding light of the Messiah.
Not only, I'd also recommend Guiding Lights of the Astronomicon.
Huh?
For those not in the know, the Astronomicon is the guiding beacon, effectively, lighthouse, the warp, created by the Emperor.
Ah.
And apparently it can also flip you the bird. Although
I do
believe
like
that
how
part is
we-
non-canon, mainly because of its association with if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device. But
Also, I think
everything's
you should move a little closer to your microphone again.
or I just should talk a bit louder. But
That could
that's-
also help.
That
But
is
I do
mainly-
like how we just always go from Command and Conquer to 40k to back to Command and Conquer.
Indeed, I suppose. Yeah, let's do
And maybe
interchangeable.
also sprinkle some cannon rushing in.
Ah, of course, of course. Or people going, I'm the man.
Indeed.
Yes, whilst we've been postulating about favorite RTS franchises, or just franchises in general, the lobby has progressed in that it hasn't progressed.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing happened for 30 seconds now.
And the changes have been extremely minor.
Going from left to right to left to right to left to right. But
Indeed.
Ultimate's deciding that instead of doing a fish, he's now going to do a spire.
And
And that
switch
just
to
inspired his ally to change as well.
No. There's gonna
Uh,
be a lot of drive-by drifting. I know it.
Ships are locked. Blue team can ask for the minute.
Oi!
Oi, that was after lock.
Blue team is the one that can ask for the minutes, not red team. Now go back.
Last
I honestly believe
last
that at this
change
point,
was red team. Even before the ship lock, it was red team.
I feel like we just need to rewrite the rules.
Probably.
But yeah, that's actually in the rules that the opposing team that has to deal with the enemy changing, they can call for the minutes. No hellfire. That is not correct, because the specific paragraph of the rule states that, in fact, if ships are changed too close to lock, 1 minute may be requested by the opposing team. Only a single minute can be ended. I'm at this point tempted to just click the button, but sadly everyone is still attempting to read through the mythical entity
Well,
known
doesn't
as
matter, they've read it up.
rules. I'm
Read the
savage.
rules.
Indeed. Or preferably, have them open so that you can quote them at any moment.
Hey. And don't argue with the refs, that's also appreciated.
Yes, indeed. We are the definitive authority.
Anyway, ship number 1 is the Bad Times. A Stormbreaker piloted by Where Am I with a right side Watcher and left side Gat double Banshee, even though you can't actually see it. And ship number 2 is the Young Edelman that is a Junker piloted by Abject Axolotl with a port side double Artemis, front Gatling, and starboard side double Banshee.
Indeed. Whereas with Com Team 3, got the number, it's ship number 3 is the Mace Window piloted by Artemis. It is a Spire with a bottom deck Watcher Banshee, top deck Gatling Banshee, running on 2 personnel, a skeleton crew. And ship number 4 is the
Yeah.
piloted by Hellfire. It is a Shrike with a double Watcher at the bottom and top deck right side Gatling, left side. Right side Gatling. Right side like Carradine, left side Gatling. Great confusion.
And the Mace Window. Actually,
Here
all
comes the
ships
drift.
have
Here
already
comes
made
the
great
drift.
contact with each other, and the Mace Window is currently taking the brunt of the damage.
Meanwhile, the young Edelman loses 4 guns in an engine. Effective Watcher. Very effective.
Very effective. Oh, Mace Window broken once more. Watcher goes on to the ear, destroying one of the...
Oh,
everything.
No. 4 guns in 2 engines. That is not good.
Mace Window consistently getting broken here. Ia not yet discovered. Eating a phenomenal Artemis, actually, that was that. Disabling every single component on that ship.
No engines. No guns, no engines, no problems.
Another Watcher goes in. EA continues to just be stun-locked. Break is finally obtained, and the follow-up goes in, but it's not quite enough,
It's still no
as
guns, no
20%
engines.
are remaining
Oh
in that
my
Shrike. Bad Times now maneuvering beneath the maze window, trying to actually doing phenomenally well at outflanking them, and that should
Finally,
now be the
got
Banshees
its
going.
engines back, only
No.
to lose another one of them.
Yeah, the EA is about to get engaged by the Bad Times, I would say. Or that they're trying to get into
They
the
just
cover
split past.
provided by the guns of the ally, but I don't think Red Team is gonna allow them to, as the maze window gets broken again.
Banshee fire
Banshee
comes
and
in.
Artemis are being spammed into them, and suddenly there's only 20% left of that spire.
There's 20% left of the blue team.
Indeed. And now there's even less.
20% as ships are continuing to fall apart. Things
Yeah,
are not
once again
going
trying to
well.
come in for a gun run. They fire their Watcher off into the Bad Times, but
2 engines out. They have forestalled.
2 engines
the
down,
movement of
yes.
The bad times.
But
Oh, but here comes the Watcher into the bad times, which misses horribly.
very horribly.
Horribly.
Maze window still broken and now dead. First kill obtained by the Red Team, also known as
Yeah.
Com Team 2.
Utilizes drift. It's very effective.
Well,
Oh,
it's not very
they bumped
effective,
the smokestack.
as the EA manages to hit the one smokestack
let
that
me get a
actually extends
clarification.
out.
It's very effective. At
Get
breaking
out of
the
Gatling
armor.
range. They're safe.
It's very effective at breaking the armor. That was actually a good shot.
Yep. Okay, the maze window has respawned and is actually about to be engaged straight away by the Bad Times here.
I have to give a commendation to the young Edelman's art crew. I love seeing great artists at work.
I think that is courtesy of Locke and Trevor? Or Cook.
Let's just leave it in general as the crew.
Yeah. Very good job by the crew. Actually,
Indeed.
disabling the maze windows Artemis, Watcher on their way in. Maze window once again broken. Bad Times loses the balloon, but so
The
does
maze
the maze window. Yep.
It's about to be thrown out of
Young Edelman was
window.
Young Edelman was just on the receiving end of a fuck ton of fire, but they will survive and they actually suffered
Oh,
no
the
damage.
decides it's gonna go for the direct approach of ramming the Bad Times.
And I think
I
that's
have to
just
say,
sealed the
frustration
deal
is
for the
entering.
year. As
Well, I understand the frustration entering Ia's brain cells.
well,
The frustration doesn't get them much beyond a little
one
bit of
thing
time
that
on
just
the Bad
puzzled
Times.
me with that engagement with the Bad Times. Nothing on the ER was disabled, so why didn't they fire a Watcher?
Or arcs, I suppose. Or just
While the
maybe
ships were
confused-
right next to each other.
Or maybe confused gunnery noises.
I don't know. Anyway, it seems that the Com Team 2 is just fed up with the Com Team 3's shenanigans, as they are just bomb
Meanwhile-
rushing the blue team as soon as they see them.
Well, they're just pushing their advantage.
Oh, definitely.
And I only appreciate this ending faster.
Yeah, we're actually closing in on the 2-hour mark for the event, so that's a first in quite a while.
Indeed. It's mostly because of extenuating circumstances. The mace window charges in.
Mace window
And-
charges in, firing their Watcher in anger, actually getting 2 disables, unlike the last time.
So, actual progress. Still,
Yeah, and
why
Bad
does
Times.
everyone have drift this match? Like, I no comment.
Okay, Young Edelman gets broken, Mace window gets broken, the Bad Times is missing 2 engines and not having a great time against the...
engines and or
Yeah.
guns. Oh.
Yeah,
and
I
the
think
young
this
lady-
is a bad dad Stormbreaker.
a bad dad Stormbreaker. Sadly, the mace window isn't doing much better.
Yeah, the
As
Mace
the
window
young-
has lost every single gun and is now hold...
And
The Mace
engine-
window has lost everything, including their
Well,
armor, and
once
soon to
again,
be their
good
life.
work on the art gunners. Very good work.
Come on, fire that Artemis.
Just a
Okay, break
bit
their armor,
more.
fire that Artemis. Fire
Or
those
just ram
Banshees.
them for the Emperor's sake.
And don't get killed by the sudden sudden ear behind you, please.
Sudden young. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Mace window was briefly broken, suffered more perma damage.
Oh,
They
the
are
pixel
in the
perma.
magic get kill territory, as they only have pixel
And-
perma. And it will be an
Then
Artemis that finishes them off. Mace
they
Windu
can
goes
still
down.
escape if they're unlucky. Sorry, I mean, if you're
They
unlucky.
need to be careful though. They did manage to get the break on the bad times here, but they have that Watcher on the Watcher on that side isn't reloaded
I'd
now.
like to know that they're backing themselves into a corner, or rather the edge of the map.
Yep, and that is a very hard edge of the map, unlike most others. Okay, fly by,
Also,
Watcher
be
goes
careful
out.
not drifting into any smokestacks like that. I saw it coming. I saw it coming. And the bad time
I
decides that
didn't, not the
wants
correct
to.
camera angle for that, but yeah, the EA manages to hit that, once again managed to hit that one large tower on their escape. But
Yeah.
they will still be able to make it out, especially since this is their spawn. Mace Windu
Well,
comes
to
in.
be honest, if this was named the Spirit of Fire, it would be even more ironic.
Yeah, actually, phenomenal watch onto the young Edelman here, disabling 4 of the guns.
And an engine. Very good.
And an engine, but the Bad Times has decided that they're just not gonna care about the EA and just go straight for the Mace Windu. Oh, but young
And
Edelman might
missed
pay the
most of
price.
their Watcher.
Oh yeah, Mace Windu gets broken once more. Young Edelman's still missing the same components.
Indeed.
But they still somehow appear to have the upper hand against the Mace Windu.
Yeah, the turns are tiding for the Mace Windu as they are not in a particularly good spot.
Okay, Bad Times, not having a good time against the EA. Well, who would have thought?
Yeah,
With that name.
weird.
But I think the EA is about to have even worse times. As the young
Yes.
Edelman is now spamming their banshees in that general direction.
Yeah, the is. The
Okay,
armor
bad.
is not looking
Mace
too
Windu fires the
shabby.
Watcher into the Bad Times, disabling one of their engines and their Watcher.
Mace
but-
Windu, double broken. Hey.
Indeed.
In blue ensues.
Another Watcher goes in, Mace Windu losing, actually no components, but suffering even more perma damage. And there's suddenly only 20% left of the Spire, and once again only 20% left of the... Oh, it doesn't matter.
Indeed.
I can't turn on like the super fast caster mode though.
Let's not be.
I probably could if I was speaking German, but not in English.
Besides, I don't think I would do. Why do you surrender Hellfire? I have no clue.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, Discom Team 2 obtained the victory with a final score of 5-0. And after
Precisely
that,
on the top of the hour.
honestly, impressive showcase of skill. Let's put it that way. They will also obtain the overall victory in SCS number 434. Congratulations to Com Team 2. I would clap,
Indeed.
but I mean the stream probably can't hear it. So.
I will do the message.
Yes. And as was pointed out in the chat, the match chat, that is actually Axelot's first SCS win
Yeah.
as a
so well
pilot.
done.
Well done.
Indeed. The first time for everything.
Well, not for me, but
Yeah, I
probably-
still haven't won myself.
I probably
I've
will
stopped
never
caring.
win.
I've stopped caring. And I don't. I think. Well, I don't know about you.
I mean, I'm currently operating on the basis of if someone approaches me and wants me to pilot, I will look at the team and say yes or no, depending on the team, like the people in the team. But besides that, I am perfectly fine with just doing this every Sunday.
Yeah, I'm approximately on the same point as well.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much to all of the people watching. Then, of course, massive shout out as always to Portable Grump for organizing the entire event, getting everything set up prematurely, so that we casters and refs only have to work our way through the challenge and not worry about any of the organization side of things. Then, Zennoch, thank you very much for doing the other 2 lobbies. 3.
Technically 2. Let's just leave it at 2.
2. And then keeping me company while I ramble on without control.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I sure hope you had fun. I know I mostly did. And wherever you
yeah.
might be on this lovely world of ours, have a nice, good... Well, fuck, I messed my outro up, didn't I? I should write that down. That would
No,
help.
no. We need to go off the script because let's be honest, if it's on script, it's probably not going to be the best.
Well, have a good night, day, evening, wherever you might be on this mostly lovely world of ours. And see you again. Maybe next Friday with a Barrett from a sub-building stream. I will see. Good night.
The Emperor protects.